In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of a real media product? Titles. Our titles are inspired by the 1976 version of The Omen. We have used the bold red writing to relate to the horror genre, and red is seen as a blood colour. However, it is also seen as a passionate, loving colour. This represents the mother's relationship with the thing. The font used appears like child's writing. This shows that the thing is a child and is a dominant part of the opening sequence. The font also relates to the horror convention, as it looks like each letter has been rewritten, which illustrates the cyclical structure and that the thing will attack again. In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of a real media product? Special effects and typography. The font we used was American Typewriter, and it also appears on the screen letter by letter, which delays the process and doesn't come all at once, which relates to the genre as horror, as it builds tension. The typography complies with the horror genre, as the writing looks like a police statement being typed up about a death that has taken place. The white font gives a supernatural feel. Some people debate whether white is a colour or not, which makes the colour unknown, which links to the unknown identification of the child. In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of a real media product? How it sets up the narrative. To create realism within our opening sequence, we chose to have a meeting point where the mother and babysitter can talk to each other and discuss the requirements of the job. This also
And
introduces both characters.
do you find that you scare
question
easily?
is meant to startle the audience, as it is bizarre. This question sets up the narrative and begins the story for an eerie horror. The unusual question is the first signifier that suggests that something within the house is not right and escalates into a horrifying outcome. In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of real media product? Costume and props. The use of the fruit bowl and coffee cups in the opening shot demonstrates realism. The bowl of food for the child relates to the genre, as the audience consider how grotesque it is to be eating the food. The use of the phone at the end of the opening sequence enables a horror theme, as telephones are used as scary props, as you don't know who is at the other end of the line. The mother's outfit is black and very dull. This generates the mother to be a negative character. The dark clothing also suggests that she is hiding something. The babysitter's outfit is a typical teenager's look. However, we gave her a scarf to represent the cold chill being received from within the house. The
And
babysitter fits the
do you
convention
find
of
that
the
you
final
scare
girl, as
easily?
she is blonde and vulnerable. However, we have also challenged and developed this character, as she seems a more stronger teenager, as she didn't panic when asked. In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of a real media product? Camera work. We had used a tracking shot to show our camera work. We had used this shot from the front and behind of the mother. We had deliberately prolonged and delayed this shot to meet the convention of horror, as it builds tension as the mother turns the corner. When the tracking shots were used, the lights were on in the hallway, which shows that the mother is entering a negative, dark, and gloomy place. The tracking shots show a turning point for the mother, as we see her vulnerability as she gingerly walks to the utility room and the kitchen. From the mother's vulnerability, the audience get the sense that the thing is scary and evil. We got our inspiration of the tracking shot from the hallway scene in The Shining.
Hello, Danny. Come and play with us.
In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of a real media product? How it introduces the character. We had chosen the picture of the mother to introduce our character, as it's a close-up of her reaction. The audience feels sympathy towards her as they see her scared and anxious face. This fits the horror genre as the audience know that something bad and unusual is going to happen. The two characters sitting down on the sofa also introduces the characters, as you are able to pick up both of their dialect and actions. The babysitter uses long pauses. This builds tension within the scene and shows that the babysitter is uncomfortable. In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of a real media product? Setting and location. Our opening sequence is set in a house as it makes the film seem more realistic. It also adds to the horror form, as a house is a common location for horror films. Our choice of house was purely based on the interior. The walls were white, which gave a sanctuary and safe vibe. However, we also thought that the red furniture gives a sense of danger occurring within the house. We used the
houses here are way out of our price range. When the business is good, we're going to have the greatest house.
And imagination. Our audience have no idea what's
This
in the
is
room,
an
which makes
amazing
it.
house. You're
The
going
idea
to
of
love it.
concealment develops the genre
That's the deal.
as the child's exposure would ruin the
So,
film,
what's the catch?
especially during the opening.
There was a crime,
Film
a
that
murder
also
in
uses
the
the
house.
idea of a house is Amityville Horror.
Several people, a family.
The accused claims he heard voices coming from within the house.
Well, houses don't kill people. To a perfect house and to a perfect family.
Who are you talking to?
The girl who lives in my closet,
And what's her name?
Jody.
What's the matter?
Just seeing things, I guess. When did you come back to bed?
I can't sleep. This is my mind.
There was a family lived here some time ago. They had a similar problem.
I'm living in their house. We need to get out of here. Just pack up and go.
Everything we have is in this house.
It's okay, Mommy. Jody won't hurt you. The man who lives here, he says he's bad.
Almighty God, bless and sanctify this house.
Open the door. It's not opening. I can't open it. George? There's something evil in my house.
In what ways does your media product use, challenge, or develop forms and conventions of a real media product? How it constructs the horror convention. We have used the Thing's point of view shot for this question. The use of the darkness instantly sets up for the horror genre, as darkness is represented as a negative and frightening light. It also generates the horror form, as the child is still not yet revealed. It creates a sense of intrigue by what is not shown. Objects caught in half-light or partly out of the frame can appear mysterious. Shadows and concealed sequences used in films, such as Nosferatu's hand and the shower scene in Psycho, evoke the deep mystery and horror to stimulate the imagination to work that the eye cannot do.